welcome to my kitchen. I'm Lisa and this is Recreate the Plate. Today we are going to attempt to make biscuits. Never good at that, so we're going to use one of my favorite recipes from a YouTuber, Color Valley Cooks. She makes a sour cream biscuit and it looks simple, so we're going to give it a try. First thing we're going to do is grease our pan. You can use cooking spray, but what I have found is that when you use cooking spray, you don't always get the nice brown crust on things. So I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way and use Crisco. I'm gonna use a little trick. I'm gonna use a paper towel. I'm gonna dip that into the Crisco. Some on there. And just get all the edges of the pan. And the sides. Like so. Gonna sit this to the side. And you have clean hands when you use the paper towel. Okay. So, what we're gonna do, the recipe is 1 cup of flour, and that is self-rising flour. So it already has the baking powder and the salt in it, and you don't have to add those things. So 1 cup of flour, and I'm gonna pour it in here. And I am gonna sift this. I don't think you have to sift. She didn't say necessarily to sift. But I do know that the sifting causes it to be more fine, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna dump this into, I bought this little sifter at Food Line at the grocery store. It's like a mini version of a sifter. It's really cute. So I'm actually going to just sift this into here. If I start making biscuits more, I'll invest in a larger sifter. It's like a mini version. Okay, that looks good. Now, I'm gonna just add some more flour into the sifter because she did cover the bar with that. Okay, and we're ready to roll the biscuits out. Back to the side. Okay, next, next is adding 8 ounces of, actually, that's not what she did next. She used half a stick of butter. So 1 cup of self-rising flour, half a stick of butter. Use real butter, not margarine. I'm just gonna cut that in half. Okay. Now, I'm just gonna put that right in here. So, what she did next was, they call it cutting in the shortening or the butter, and that's basically where you just break it up. And she had this nice little cutting in fork, which I do not have. So this is just a very large serving fork that I have. So I'm gonna try this, and I bought this years ago. I can't remember the name of it, but it does the same thing. It's like a cutting in tool. I've used it once, years ago, to make a cake where the recipe told me to do this cutting in. So this may work as well. So I may try both. We'll see which works the best. But she did have a fork. It was just a nice fork with more prongs on it. So we're just gonna see what happens here. Okay, that's not very easy. Is the butter supposed to be soft? I don't know. Okay, that's not easy. I'm gonna try this tool. That's not easy either. It's a bit of a struggle. Not sure. Okay, this is working a bit better. I'm finding this hard to do. I don't think this is supposed to be the hard part. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. And we're just supposed to do this until there's no big pieces. Switch hands. Okay, I'm gonna scrape this out a little bit. And maybe the butter's not supposed to be cold. I took it right out of the refrigerator. Maybe it'll warm up a bit. So if, the more I work it, but if I had set the butter out, it probably would have blended in if I'd let it just be at room temperature. So we might have to make a second batch and try that. We'll let this half sit out. Let this half sit out, come to room temperature, and see if that works any better. So far, I would say that's question number one. Okay. I'm just gonna work it a bit more because I'm still seeing some large chunks. Let me see if the fork works now. Can't tell if it's really doing anything. Still seem to have a lot of big pieces. So that doesn't look like hers. You know when you have flour in your hands and you're not supposed to touch your face, scratch your nose? Well, that's when your nose itches, right? Of course. Okay. So far, I can tell I'm not very skilled with this little thing. But that's why we're doing this, right? Keeping it real in the kitchen. See if we can recreate the plate. It's looking better. It's looking better. Okay. A little more. Still see big pieces though. I'm gonna keep going. All right, we're going with this. Just a couple little ones. I'm gonna try and get out. We're hoping that that is good enough and that those pieces of butter are what is going to make them yummy as I continue to do it anyway. All right. Okay. Let me grab a spoon. Okay, this is a 16-ounce container of cream cheese. It is not cream cheese, it is sour cream. Of sour cream. So I'm gonna put half of this in to give it a good stir. I'm going to guess half of it. Okay, that looks, oh, that's right. That looks like about half. So I'm just gonna stir this in. Okay, it's starting to come together. And it is supposed to be quite sticky, and that it is. It's very sticky. Okay. Now, she used her hands. I'm going to do the same. Take the ring off. And I'm just going to get in there and with my hands. All right. Kind of fun. Kind of feels like I'll never get all this off my hands. Okay, it's mixed up. So we're gonna try to get off what we can. And then very, very sticky. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands and be right back. Also, this is supposed to be, supposed to go in a 450 oven, so I'm gonna get my oven going. All right, so next, we are going to put down quite a bit of flour. We're just going to do it right on the counter and hope that works. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side, and we're just going to dump these out. Get it all. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to put, she said to do this, to put, because they are so sticky, to shake some flour on them and to knead them 10 to 12 times. So, oh goodness, very sticky, but soft. Pull that out on the floor. Okay, that feels kind of like what I would expect biscuit dough to feel like. So that's nice. Okay, that's nice. It feels kind of fluffy. Okay, let's get that in there. All right. I don't know how many times I'm supposed to really do that. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to bring my pan over and actually forgot to get, wash my hands again, forgot to get something to cut them out with. I don't have a biscuit cutter, so I'm gonna dig in my cookie cutter stash. Let's see what I have. Meant to have this out already. Don't have anything there I want to use. Have one more idea. so no luck with the cookie cutter. So I'm going to improvise, and I'm just going to use a glass, and I'm going to see how that works out. I'm just going to cut them out with a glass. Let's see what happens. It's kind of making like a very large biscuit. Oh, I probably should have, uh-oh. Here we go. I should have dipped it in the flour. There we go. But that one looks good. Okay. Put my hands in this again. Okay. Got flour on it now. These are big biscuits with the glass. So let's see what happens here. That one's pretty. Kind of cracked on the top. That doesn't look really good here. We'll see what happens. First time, first batch. Now, something I have also seen her do, I'm gonna try this. She just takes some of the dough and she just rolls it around. It's not rolling, it seems to still have a lot of cracks in it. So, my ball's not looking real. I'm gonna kind of mush it up again. Probably overworking it at this point. So, hopefully we'll get better together. I'm gonna put it in the pan and give it a little pat, and we'll see what happens. I'm kind of impressed for the first time. So we've got to wait on the oven to heat up. Okay, while I was waiting on my oven to come up to 450, I went ahead and cleaned up the kitchen, and now we're ready to get these into the oven. I'll time them and we'll see how long it takes. Okay, let's check the biscuits. They've been in there. Honestly, they kind of look like little rocks. Let's see. Okay. Turn them out onto the counter. How about that? Brown, that's nice. Very heavy, very, very heavy. They didn't rise much at all. Ooh, hot. Okay. Ooh, let's pull one apart. And they just, the opposite of light and fluffy. Wonder what went wrong. Well, hopefully, maybe I'll try them again. Maybe second time will be the charm. So I would say the things that I'm not sure about, I wasn't sure if they should be touching in the pan. Sometimes that causes biscuits, I think, to rise. If when you put them in the pan, if they're actually touching, they'll rise better. So I could try that. I wasn't also sure if the butter, when I was cutting that butter in, if it should have been room temperature or if it being cold could have affected. this, but they do just seem very heavy. I seem to get quite a taste of, I don't taste the sour cream, but it feels heavy like from the sour cream. So I would not call this one a win. It doesn't taste bad. Just kind of peeling off the top. I mean, that tastes kind of good. I'll let it cool a moment. If I leave them in there any longer, I think they'll get too brown. But they almost don't look kind of done on the inside. So they could use a little longer, but I think they'll get too brown if I keep leaving them in. Okay, well, thanks for joining. We gave this one a try to recreate the plate. So let's just keep cooking and get better together. Thanks for watching.